It's 4:30 and this is WKYT This Morning. A Lexington teenager has a long road to recovery after being hit by a car while walking to school. We've talked with his family and that story is coming up.
A man is now facing charges in the shooting of a clerk at a Lexington gas station that left him severely injured.
And 6 different brush fires broke out in Whitley County over the course of one day. Find out how the county is responding. We'll have that and your weather forecast. It's all coming up on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and welcome in. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Andrea Walker. It is Wednesday, November 2nd, and did we hit some record highs yesterday?
I think we did. Micah was, in fact, by late afternoon tweeting that we had hit some and that we might go even above that. So let's check in with him, see what the deal is. Good morning.
Good morning. Lexington and Frankfort actually reached record highs yesterday. I mean, it was a really warm day. That's 83 and 84 degrees. Really warm day, and you know what? We're going to do it all over again today. We have another potential for some record highs because no rain around, virtually no cloud cover early this morning. I mean, it is a beautiful start to the day, and temperatures sitting there in the 50s and 60s, actually pretty warm in some locations. Jackson right now at 67 degrees. By the afternoon, we're talking low, mid-80s once again, and that's for everybody, so the possible records again today, but rain comes in tomorrow. That will knock down the temperatures big time as we head towards your Friday. I'm going to show you how low we go coming up.
We'll see in just a bit, Micah. Thank you very much. A Lexington teenager was walking to school when police say a car hit him. We're learning more now about the 15-year-old who suffered some serious injuries.
Police say the car hit the teenager Monday morning as he crossed Clays Mill Road, and his family tells us he has a long road now to recovery. WKYT's Caitlin Sintner has the story.
He's been through so much.
Mark Portwood, or Little Mark as his family calls him, is a fun-loving 15-year-old guy.
Loved to be the jokester. Cut up with everybody. He's just like how his dad was.
But Grandma says he's smart too. He'd walk to Lafayette High School down Blue Ash Drive and across Clays Mill Road. The Lexington teenager was hit at this intersection on his walk to school, and unfortunately his grandma says the call she got was like deja vu.
His mother called me and she was just, Tina, Mark's been hit by a car and they're taking him to UK. That's all she knew. And I just kept praying, for not to have a brain injury. Because, we've been through this.
This grandma is now seeing her grandson in a hospital bed after seeing her son, Mark's dad, in the same place.
His dad was in a car accident. It's been 13 years now, and little Mark was with him when he had his accident on Easter, and he ran off the road and hit a tree on Old Frankfort Pike.
Big Mark would start to recover, but he slipped back into a coma after yet another accident. He's still in that coma. She went to check on her grandson Tuesday afternoon.
You talk to him, he knows his name, his birthday, but he's very agitated, and then, he's just kind of blank and don't say anything. Cries a lot.
He has a broken collarbone and a severe concussion. Doctors tell her the road to recovery is going to be long.
But he's strong-willed, very strong-willed. And like I said, his daddy's the same way.
In Lexington, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
The family is now hoping for a crosswalk to be installed at the intersection of Blue Ash and Clays Mill Road.
Lexington police have charged a man in connection to a shooting that injured a gas station clerk more than a month ago. Police have charged 22-year-old Avarius Jones with assault. He was already in the Fayette County Detention Center on unrelated charges. Back on September 17th, police say Jones shot gas station clerk Charles Moore multiple times at the Marathon on Lansdowne Drive. Moore was seriously injured but survived. Police have also charged Jones for a robbery that happened at a Shell station in Lexington Green about 45 minutes before the shooting. Police originally arrested Jones late in September, and they charged him at that time with robberies at 2 Hibbett's sports stores and with a home invasion. And Georgetown police have arrested a man who they think is connected to 3 burglaries around the city. They have charged 42-year-old Christopher Bell with burglary, theft, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Police say Bell was in the process of taking thousands of dollars worth of items from a house in Georgetown yesterday when a neighbor saw him and confronted him. At that point, police say Bell ran off, but they arrested him nearby. Police think he also could be connected to a burglary in Lexington.
Two people are still recovering in the hospital this morning after a deadly crash in Lexington. It happened yesterday around noon on Old Richmond Road near Evans Mill Road. Lexington police say the driver of a truck was trying to pass a tractor but lost control. They say the truck then hit the tractor, went off the road and hit a fence. Police say a man riding in the truck was killed. His name has still not been released at this time. They say the driver of the truck and the driver of the tractor were both taken to the hospital. Police think speed may have been a factor in this crash. The recent warm air and dry conditions have made forest fires easy to start, but in Whitley County, firefighters had to battle 6 brush fires in just one day. Now officials have been issuing a burn ban. WKYT's Garrett Weimer talked to people who live near these fires.
In the dark, the flames flickered like night lights, but not bringing comfort. Instead, exposing neighbors' fears.
The house we built and a barn, and animals and horses. It's just it's kind of a worrisome thing,
It all started much earlier. A busy day for firefighters here battling 6 brush fires across the county. County leaders say at one point during the day, 8 of their 9 fire departments were all out at brush fires.
On a day like today, it looks pretty outside and you think you can go out and burn something, but with the wind picked up and the dry conditions, it's really dangerous to be burning right now.
With leaves the only thing falling, the county put into effect a burn ban, trying to prevent more fires from starting. Here out Tackett's Creek, even from a distance, I can hear crews working on that fire. There's still a lot of smoke in the air. I can smell it, I can see it. But neighbors say earlier it was worse than this. They say they could hardly walk outside. Neighbors along Tackett Creek say they kept their eyes on the fire as the evening wore along. Dark smoke eventually blotting out a pretty sunset.
At about 4:30 it started getting a lot worse, so I called back 911, and then the forestry came probably within 20 minutes.
They say crews have done a good job controlling it, but they've already seen too much come too close. In Whitley County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Whitley County officials say they don't expect to lift the outdoor burning ban until at least tomorrow.
The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says a large chunk of cement fell off of a bridge along Interstate 64 in Clark County. It happened at the Mountain Parkway overpass. State highway workers say the cement fell into the median of the interstate. They also tell us they will be inspecting the bridge to see why the cement fell. Probably a good idea. With less than a week to go now until Election Day, some new national polls show the presidential race is tightening. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump spent yesterday trying to win over undecided voters while also rallying the supporters they already have. Weijia Jiang now has the latest from the campaign trail.
The former Miss Universe, who Donald Trump criticized for gaining weight, introduced Hillary Clinton at one of her 3 Florida rallies.
I could not be prouder to cast my first presidential vote for Hillary Clinton.
Clinton unleashed a scathing attack on Trump's treatment of women.
Can we just stop for a minute and reflect on the absurdity of Donald Trump finding fault with Miss Universe? Who acts like this? And I'll tell you who, a bully.
Clinton ignored her email controversy during Tuesday's appearances, but Trump seized on the FBI's renewed investigation at his rally in Wisconsin.
She is likely to be under investigation for many years, probably concluding in a very large-scale criminal trial.
President Obama defended Clinton in battleground Ohio, where she and Trump are tied.
Has she made mistakes? Of course, so have I.
The Real Clear Politics average of major national polls shows Clinton's lead is shrinking from 7 points 2 weeks ago to just 2 points with a week to go to Election Day.
For any Democratic voter who have already cast their ballots for Hillary Clinton and who are having a bad case of buyer's remorse, you can change your vote to Donald Trump will make America great again, okay?
Wisconsin is one of a handful of states where voters are allowed to change their ballot. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, the White House.
And both Clinton and Trump are expected to spend most of their time during the next week in those battleground states. It'll be interesting. It'll be here in a few days.
I know, less than a week to go,
There you
people.
go. Time this morning is coming up on 4:40, and WKYT This Morning is on the air with all the latest.
Still to come, when you think of grains, you most likely associate the word with healthy, but there's a new health trend hitting the U.S. that's calling ancient grains. We're telling you about what it is and why it's so popular coming up after Micah's forecast.
It is another really nice day in store, but then we hit tomorrow's. Here comes some rain, and it would really drop off temperatures off towards your Thursday and Friday. I'll show you that coming up in your forecast next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
When you walk outside this morning, more than likely, you're not going to be able to see any clouds outside. You see all the stars in the sky. It is a good looking start to the day. Typically, when you get clearing of the skies, that allows those temperatures to drop very rapidly. However, you're still getting those winds coming in from the south and southwest. You felt it yesterday. We broke a few records yesterday. We may even do that again today, and that is really allowing a lot of this warm air to stick around. We're at 64 right now in Lexington. Frankfort coming in at 65 degrees. Look at Jackson over in eastern Kentucky. They're at 67 degrees, and that goes for Perry County. And then work your way down toward Laurel and Whitley, holding on to the 50s and 60s. So it is a pretty warm, pretty mild start this morning. Very warm afternoon. 82 is the record high. That was back in 1987. And our forecast high, we put it at 81. You'll see that on the 7-day, remember, but that is an average around the region. So I do believe we'll actually either tie or break another record today here in Lexington. I expect here in Lexington 82, 83, maybe even 84 degrees once again. So we get off towards your Thursday. Remember, record-breaking temperatures possible today. Tomorrow, it's about the rain. Finally getting some rain on in here, but obviously it's not a lot of rain. It's not very widespread. It's not a 100% chance of rain, but it's a pretty decent shot. We have it 60% across your 7-day. And you see it covers a pretty good chance across the area. But remember, you're not going to get a lot of it, meaning the rainfall gauge won't really add up. Temperatures will be there in the 60s. It slides southbound, head off towards your Friday. We start in the 40s on Friday. That's actually average for this time of year. We get towards your afternoon on Friday, much cooler conditions, sitting there in the 50s. Check out your 7-day forecast. And we're at 80 degrees today. We'll head toward your day tomorrow. Like I said, it's about the rain chances. Then we slide on through on your Friday, holding on to very chilly conditions in the 50s, and then towards your weekend, holding on to the low to mid 60s. So the weekend really isn't all that bad. That's actually average for this time of year. Not only is it average, but it looks really good there for your weekend, guys. So it's not all that bad in your forecast. We actually get some rain in here. That's okay, as long as it's on one day and as long as it's not for the weekend. Yeah. The weekend looks pretty good.
And of course, it's Thursday.
And it's on Thursday. I like it.
Yeah, so it all works out.
Right.
And it's going to be another nice one. Thank you, Micah. Ancient grains are making a comeback in a big way. It's one of the fastest growing modern food trends.
The grains are loaded with protein and nutrients, but what exactly do they do and how do you use them? Weijia Zhang has details.
We are making a Tuscan farro and bean salad.
Not long ago, Erin Flannery Keith had never even heard of farro, but these days she cooks with it several times a week.
1 cup of farro to 2 cups of water.
Farro is one of the ancient grains. They haven't been modified over the last several hundred years, so they're packed with more nutrients than other grains.
A lot of them are higher in protein than wheat. They also have a lot of different vitamins and minerals. Certain ones are a good source of iron, vitamin C, calcium, magnesium.
Quinoa is credited with starting the ancient grain craze, but registered dietitian Alyssa Rumsey says others like farro, teff, millet, and freekeh are now popping up on restaurant menus and in products on store shelves. And many are gluten-free, making them easier to digest.
You can incorporate ancient grains much the same way that you use rice or pasta. You can also bulk up stew or soup recipes with the grains as well. Some of them do really well going in salads too.
Erin says the grains are easy to prepare and tasty. Good nutrition is her top priority after being diagnosed with melanoma a year and a half ago.
I've noticed higher energy levels. I feel satisfied. I feel like I've fed my body something healthy and whole.
She hopes reaching back to our agricultural past will protect her future health. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Washington.
Experts say some ancient grains can take a little longer to cook than other grains.
All right.
So there you go.
Interesting trend, huh? WKYT this morning on the air with all the latest, and we have a lot more to tell you about here as we get rolling.
Still ahead, Clay County has named a new interim judge executive after the recent scandal involving its former one. We'll tell you who it is coming right up after the break.
Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. It's 4:50 now, 10 till 5. And does it make a community safer or does it discriminate? An ordinance in a western Kentucky city has become controversial.
In 2006, the city of Auburn in Logan County passed an ordinance saying those who have an animal that leaves waste in public have an obligation to pick it up. In 2014, the city then added on to that ordinance, requiring people to use catchers with large animals like horses to reduce waste in public. But people in the Amish community claim the ordinance unfairly targets them, and an attorney representing them now plans to challenge it in court.
This ordinance was conceived of, drafted, and passed, and is now being enforced specifically to target and discriminate against this particular group of individuals.
We feel like it's a very reasonable request. Wherever you are, where large animals are on the streets of the city, they wear these catcher devices.
So far, there's no word on when the issue could be heard in court.
Months after an ATV accident nearly killed him, a Jackson County teenager returned home to a community celebration. 16-year-old Isaac Ely's family wasn't sure if he would even survive after the crash, and doctors feared he would be in a vegetative state. But the community rallied around the family, and Isaac is now able to walk with some assistance and to say some words as well. He received a police escort when he returned home to Annville yesterday, and many people lined the streets holding signs. The Ely family says they appreciate all the help.
We've been gone for more than 3 months, and there's just no place like home. And I feel like that Isaac will make continued progress. It's just a miracle.
And people in the community also helped build a ramp at the Ely home for Isaac's wheelchair just in time for his return home. Wonderful small town story.
Great story. The Clay County Fiscal Court has named an interim judge executive. Johnny Johnson will be the Clay County judge executive until Governor Bevin appoints someone. He's been a long-time magistrate in the county. Johnson replaces Joe Asher, who resigned on Monday. In August, a grand jury indicted Asher and former county road foreman Buford Jarvis on abuse of public trust, bribery, and possession of forged instrument charges. Johnson says he hopes the governor appoints him.
I would like to have it and see what I can do with it, move the county forward in the right direction. We need spec buildings, we need jobs here, we need better roads and water.
The governor is expected to appoint someone within the next 30 days. That person will serve until the end of 2018.
A longtime KET journalist will soon be moving to another job. The Kentucky Humanities Council announcing that Bill Goodman has been named its executive director. He'll start his new job on January 1st. Goodman has hosted the public affairs show Kentucky Tonight on KET since 1996. In a statement, KET congratulated him on his new job and wished him well.
New this morning, the Chicago Cubs have pushed the World Series to a 7th game. The Cubs beat the Indians 9-3 last night at Progressive Field in Cleveland. Cubs shortstop Addison Russell hit a grand slam in the 3rd inning to break the game wide open. Game 7 is tonight in Cleveland. First pitch is set for 8 p.m. Isn't that exciting? I love that it's come down to this, you know?
I was going to say, talk about a winner-take-all situation. Right? This is it. I mean,
so cool. I feel like it's fitting because neither of them have won in so long.
Sure.
Like, it's just a great game.
It's lived up to the historic moment.
Oh, it has.
And coming right up, we're going to have a look at some of the stories our team is working on for you this morning.
And we'll have another look at your morning forecast coming up.
Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. 4:57 is our time right now.
It is so good to have you with us this morning. Now let's take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you today.
Coming up, we'll tell you all the details about a Lexington business that had its door smashed in by a car this morning. We're on the scene with live coverage of that coming up in just a little bit. Quite a scene this morning.
And we have another beautiful day ahead of us in the weather department, don't we?
I tell you, we're on a roll. Let's check in with Micah.
Yeah, we've had these 80s here and there. I mean, for the past month and a half. I mean, it's been really, really nice. Actually broke a few records yesterday. May even do that again today. Moorhead coming in at 63 degrees this morning. The warm spot is actually Frankfort at 65 degrees. So as you're walking out the door, it's really, really nice. Very pleasant start. By the afternoon, like I said, possible record highs, low to mid 80s. And then we bring in the rain tomorrow and then much, much cooler air on Friday. I'll show you that. Another 2 hours of WKYT News comes up in a couple of minutes.